Hello, Fun. My name is Nick, and I'm here at the Robotier Rumble in Tremont, Illinois. I'm here with Team 7657 ThunderBots. They're your Indiana State champions for this year. They have an incredibly unique one-jointed arm. All this and more coming up on Behind the Bumpers.
This video on Fun is brought to you by viewers like you and also in partnership with the following. The new Robot system by AnyMark can reduce complexity and enable robust builds. Parts aligned to a common 1/2 inch grid, simplifying construction and allowing alignment of both structure and motion components. Robots enables teams to always have the parts they need to complete a build. Head on over to anymark.com/robots to learn more and order today. Fun is continuing to grow and looking for new ad partners for the 2024 season. If your organization has a positive message to spread to our over 250,000 unique viewers, go to firstupdatesnow.com/contact to get more information.
All right, now we're heading over to Emily to talk about their incredibly unique one-jointed arm.
Yeah, so one thing we did this year is we kept our bot design super simple. So we literally have one arm, and that is basically our entire robot. So it works on 3 joints here, just like your normal arm. We have our shoulder, our elbow, and our wrist. So the way that works, this one is literally just a wrist that goes up and down. Shoulder here, we had some troubles with this actually last year. We tried to use a ratcheting gearbox in the beginning of last year's season, but we ended up just transitioning to a normal Neo motor, and that's held up really well with our gear ratios, with the strain of the arm being out. We also have a string back here that kind of just takes some of the load off of our motor down there. That just makes it so that there's not too much strain happening on the Neo, that we don't blow a bunch of motors. But that's the gist of our design. Is it's able to place on all 3 levels, so it can go low, mid, and high placing, and it can pick up from the floor or from the shelf station. So it's very versatile and simple.
Yeah, I guess one question I have about it is, how did you come up with it? It's incredibly simple and has a bunch of super specific things. So were these all things you came up with at kickoff? Were they in the build season, comp season even?
Well, it was kind of our original idea was just to have an arm because it made sense, right? You just need a claw and you need something to place over long distances. So we thought that this would be just a simple way to do this. We had a few iterations happening, like we'll talk more about the claw in a little bit, but that kind of went through a few designs in the first weeks of our developing. Again, this gearbox got changed a few months into competition season, but it was more just figuring out how to take off the load of our motors because we knew that that was going to be a huge strain with our heavy arm. But the base design of just using an arm was pretty simple, and we just thought about it in like the first week.
Now we're heading over to Nick to talk about their claw.
All right, so we decided to go with a very simple design for our claw. Our original idea was to have these wheels spin and sort of suck the cone and the cube in, but in the end we decided to have it just clamp down on them. It all runs off of this ratcheting gearbox, which runs through our pneumatic system, so we are able to very quickly clamp down. And so this can pick up both cones and cubes off of the floor and off of the human player's shelf.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I guess one thing I'm curious about with the claw is there any reason you went with a ratcheting specifically instead of like a more standard gearbox?
We went with the ratcheting specifically so that it doesn't undo itself. So once it is locked in place, it won't randomly shift back.
All right, now we're heading over to Landon to talk about their auto balance and overall versatility.
So the auto balance is something that we have perfected through many hours of testing. So I've ran tests for over 100 times in our workplace, and we've used a PID loop to use the positioning from that in the gyro sensor to help know the angle we are currently at. So we have a gyro right down in the center of our robot for to have the better positioning from that because it's in the center, so we're not getting other values differently because we are, like, say, on the side. And then the versatility of our programming is that we also use PID for all the positioning of the arm. So say if I press high, the arm will go out. And then so same with the wrist. It flips down using a PID, and so does the hand. Whenever it opens and closes, it uses PID for that. Same for our reset. It changes the set points of our PID to to know where to go, and then same for our mid, and then our shelf pickup.
I know this can be hard to work with. How did you think of it? How did you make sure it was implemented correctly? Were there any other ideas you had initially that then you had to switch from?
So our initial idea with programming, we thought of just using just proportional, but what we found when testing out would just say the arm, like right in here, these two metal pieces and this motor here connected to it, to a base like this, we found that it would go back and forth until it just started to burn up the motor and destroy gearboxes. So we found that, okay, we need to have more values into it, more of a mathematical equation than just proportional. And we had mentors teach us PID because we were new to PID programming this year, which we found very great success in, I'd say.
All right, this has been 7657 ThunderBots. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Landon. And thank you for watching.
This video on fun is brought to you by viewers like you and also in partnership with the following. The new Robotics system by AnyMark can reduce complexity and enable robust builds. Parts aligned to a common 1/2-inch grid, simplifying construction and allowing alignment of both structure and motion components. Robotics enables teams to always have the parts they need to complete a build. Head on over to anymark.com/robotics to learn more and order today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on our new videos. Keep the conversation going and provide your input to our content. Most live shows can be found on the First Updates Now YouTube channel, live competitions at twitch.tv/firstupdatesnow, and join our Discord at discord.gg/firstupdatesnow. Check our other social offerings on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.